RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Tuesday night live stream. Looking forward to find out what's on your radar. And more importantly, it looks like internet censorship is in the works right now from that alleged whistleblower, borderline double agent that's out here trying to get more regulation, more harsher rules applied to Facebook. And of course, with just be tagged along with every other social media platform. But anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to the live stream. If we have any new viewers, let me know where you're watching from. We'd love to acknowledge your presence and thank you for being a part of the community. And then when the phone lines open up, 313-462-0027 is the number to call and let your voice be heard. All right. So a couple of stories worth touching on, but just been more so interested in this whole whistleblower situation, just because all these events as they unfold is just too timely to just pass up. But going to share some thoughts as well as a lot of interesting thoughts on the Twitter in regards to some of the feedback from this committee hearing earlier. But anyway, I'll dive in real quick. We got Elias Jones checking in. We got Major Ken. We got Jane. We got Broadlight Broker. Jay Ham is checking in. We got, let me see here, Faith Parent. Let me see. I see a lot of thoughts out here. What people I know call crazy. Let me see here. We got Theta checking in. We got Mr. Nitty. Let me see. We got Aaron checking in. DC Precise. Daryl. Faith Parent. Let me see here. Tom. All right. Fair amount of people here. King D. Appreciate you guys for joining us, man. Curious to get your thoughts on also the interview that I posted earlier with Andy Hoffman. It's been a while since we connected, so it's always good to basically connect with him and see what is on his radar and what's he keeping an eye on. And so definitely heavy, BTC, as he mentioned. And so I mentioned before we had the interview about just probably pressing back a little bit and just trying to throw some curveballs at him of some kind. But altogether wasn't too harsh, just because, as I said before, I'm not an evangelist, not a crypto enthusiast, but I recognize the signs of the time. And I do believe in dip and dabbling in something that will definitely be something that's going to be around for a while. So curious to get your thoughts on what's that about. Anyway, all right, so let me dive right in, man. I see some thoughts already. Gene says smash that button. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button if you guys don't mind. Hopefully that alert a few more people to join in and tune in and share their thoughts. Let me see. It says Twitter should be called telling on yourself. Good point. Let me see. It says Barlight Burger says, Mike, please remember they play a non-skippable 10-second commercial when you come live. Just saying. All right. Non-skippable. Really? Okay. I thought everything was skippable, but we'll work around that. Let me see here. This is waiting for the stream to drop out or your audio to go out, Mike. DC Precise. It's been a while, man. I hopefully upgraded to a better microphone, so hopefully I don't have those issues anymore. We got Inspector Jason checking in from Los Angeles. How you doing, my friend? Thanks for blessing us with your presence. CT Sack 64 from Maryland checking in. All right, we got the Pothead BTC. Kenneth Gibson just got in the chat. Okay, so as always, there's probably 30, 40 different topics we can all touch on. And other than that, it's just one man. That's why I rely upon you guys as a community to bring different topics, different subjects, different news, events, you name it, to the forefront. Throw it in the chat, or when the phone lines open up, let me know what you guys are keeping an eye on, and we can definitely touch on that. But I'll jump right in and share my thoughts on some things that caught my radar once I can load up my screen. But before I talk about this internet censorship thing, because this definitely will fall into that category, did anybody happen to check out the latest Project Veritas? And so last night, I think 8 p.m. they dropped, Monday, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, the Project Veritas Part 4, basically talking to 3 Pfizer scientists, and they all basically just spilling the beans to an undercover reporter. And none of the information is really over the top shocking, but you have 3 individuals that work within the organization, and it shows that even they themselves are scared and a little bit unease as to how the atmosphere in the office plays out. And so they're talking about natural immunity is way better than actually participating in all those key buzzwords that we're hearing more and more from the alternative media world. And so this right here, the fact that it's day 2 and this video here is still on YouTube is surprising. And this plays into that whole double agent, as I call earlier, the whistleblower, Francis, what's the name? Francis Hagen or something like that. So I'll just jump right into it. And so I'll share with you here. It says Facebook whistleblower. And I love how the mainstream media use these words like whistleblower. So the question is, what really did she release? What news did she really bring to the forefront that labels her a whistleblower? Like, when you say whistleblower, I usually think of people like Eric Snowden, who actually exposed the government, the entire government technology structure that's been used against the people. That right there would be considered a whistleblower, as well as many other people who actually bring some information to light that is helpful. But this person here, and so I was reading some of the responses online as to how people are saying that this is just, she's a double agent. She's an insider that was paid to come out and try to spread this generic, information, all disguised as the need for more regulation on Facebook or to hold Mark Zuckerberg accountable. And just some of the things that stood out to me as I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole spiel, but just reading some of the notes here. Here's 5 highlights. And they did a good job of basically saying what it's all about. And I got highlighted it real quickly. But it says a former Facebook employee told Congress Tuesday that the company knows that its platform spreads misinformation and content that harms children. So as I mentioned the other day, a couple weeks ago, the whole idea of harming young ladies on Instagram was the initial door opener. And then now, a week later, we have a whistleblower talking about misinformation. And so during this whole little article here, a lot of information shared about how all the platforms that Facebook is responsible for plays a part in misinformation being allowed. And so, of course, the end result was, making changes to reduce the spread of misinformation and other harmful content wouldn't require a wholesale reinvention of social media, Hogan said. It said another was to add one more click. This is how she's saying she can help slow things down. It says add another was to add one more click before users can easily share content, which is in the lines of this is heading towards that digital ID. And even on Google, over the last year or two, Google has requested that in order to advertise, in order to share stuff through their platform, they need additional information. Ideally, your name, your number, more personal information in order for you to participate on their platform. And so my guess would be her suggestion at requesting a little bit more information before people can share stuff plays right along with that. So ultimately, it'll have people second guess if you're trying to post something that you don't want your name and possibly your personal information associated with. You'll probably be less likely to share some information that they label as misinformation. But it just says before users can easily share content, which she said Facebook knows can dramatically reduce misinformation and hate speech. So once again, all this whistleblower stuff is right on time for a more intrusive government into our free speech using these private social media platforms, because misinformation and hate speech, the words that they love to use, which is basically the alternative to their narrative, is becoming rampant. They're losing control of the narrative and being able to control the sources of information. So here they have to find a new way into the ballpark of saying things are getting out of hand. We need to crack down. We need to control this. And so here we have now the door opener to where, as of now, we're going to have more committee hearings. And let me actually share with you this one here. So this is a little bit of feedback. I'll zoom in. DC Precise, I appreciate you for the love offer, my friend. Let me get that. I'll show that real quick. And then, of course, I'm going to stop rambling. But just want to lay out my case as to why this is a deliberate strategic attack by the powers that's trying to orchestrate this to control the narrative, because they're losing control. More people are waking up and considering information that doesn't come from the experts. And so they have a problem with that. DC Precise says, thanks for all that you do, brother. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being a blessing to the community and to the channel. Thanks for your support. And so here's just a little snippet here from Disclosed TV. And if you guys on Twitter, I encourage you guys to connect with a lot of these sources here. They give us information pretty much ahead of time, because once you wait to the mainstream narratives to drop out on all these controlled platforms, it's usually, slanted towards a more favorable way for the whistleblower. But it says Facebook calls for new standards for the internet after the whistleblower hearing. So whistleblower calls for more regulation, and then now Congress wants to crack down on the internet. At the same time, they're losing control of the narrative. But just to give you a little something here, I'll click this, and something that caught my attention here is one of the committee hearing people said that we don't agree with her characterization of many issues she testified against. Despite all this, we agree on one thing. It's time to begin to create a standard rules for the internet. It's been 25 years since the rules for the internet have been updated, and instead of expecting the industry to make societal decisions that belong to legislators, it's time for Congress to act. So more government, more regulation. It's been 25 years since they've last made some rules for the internet, and of course, it's grown massively with all the opportunities to have platforms that's not centrally controlled. And so here we have the idea of creating a new standard or new rules for the internet. At the same time, they're losing control of everything. So it's all about control. It's all about control. So all of these events, everything from the Pandora Papers, as I mentioned last night, it's about more regulation. We got the internet, whistleblower, all about control, cracking down on internet. Everything they thrown at us is just political theater designed to further entrap us, remove our ability to communicate freely amongst one another. And this is what they're trying to do, man. Just full hands down tyranny in a sense. And just a couple more headlines here to let you know what's going on. Whistleblower says Facebook won't change without more regulation. Oh, how bull crap is that? More regulation. Regulation has done more than enough damage. Just look at the world we're living in now. Regulation. Anyway, I'm tired of talking about these people. Barlett Broker says, never forget the U.S. government is responsible and guilty of murdering over 3,000 of us on 9/11. Barlett Broker, straight to the point. You don't hold no punches. Appreciate you, my man, for the love offering there. And of course, by this point, a lot of people that's in this alternative community is awake and aware and in tune with what's really going on, realizing that 9/11 was a strategic event for the ushering in of the control mechanisms that the government needed to get us to this point where 20 years later, here we are. TSA is still fully active. Patriot Act has set up all the digital protocols that's being used as real-time surveillance tools, i.e. Fakebook. And speaking of which, I'm going to piggyback on that because here's something that I grabbed off of, where did it go? Here's something I grabbed off of whenever I can find it. Where did it go? Give me 1 second here. And I'll pull this up here. So the actual image that I used today for, let me see, copy link here. The image that I used as a part of the thumbnail. And so this is just something to make you think, I hope. And so this is something that I came across the internet earlier today before all this committee hearing stuff that caught my attention. But it says Facebook was created by Darpa to track, quote, a person's entire existence. And it just links to the idea that the Pentagon kills its life log project. So to the left here, you see how in 2004, you can't really see it, but in February 4th, 2004 was the time this article came out on the Wired, media source. And it talks about the Pentagon killing the LifeLog project. And then it goes on to talk about run by DARPA, the Defense Department's research arm, LifeLog, aimed to gather in a single place just about everything an individual says, sees, or does, the phone calls they make, the TV shows they watch, the magazines they read, the plane tickets they bought, the emails sent and arrived. Out of this seamlessly endless ocean of information, computer scientists would not distinctively routes in the data, mapping relationships, memories, events, and experiences. So everything Facebook does to the T collects your memories, all your events, your experiences, your emotions, your data, your relationships, put it all in one stockpile. What do you have? Fakebook. And so February 2004, Pentagon stopped this LifeLog. And then look, February 4th, over here to the right, 2004, 14 years ago, or give or take, Facebook was started by Mark Zuckerberg. So this is all a part of the intelligence community psyop against the world to make sure they have every piece of information about you. And then the next phase of this, of course, we all know it has a lot to do with this current agenda of using technology, of utilizing a blockchain associated with a unique identification code that will have all of your entire life connected to it, along with your finances, along with your health, along with everything else. These are the tools that they put in place. So the fact that we have a double agent whistleblower coming out, the need for more regulation, the regulation was bound to come at some point anyway. They're just using this whole misinformation and, you know, harmful to children as an excuse to execute their global agenda. So this is just something that caught my attention, man. And as I was earlier reading some of the comments on Twitter about this whole little experiment that they're rolling out, it's interesting to see how a lot of people out here on Twitter in particular, you know, is awake to what's really going on. And so you just hear, I'll read some of the comments real quick and then we'll go. But here's the Who 87 says, so whistleblower says Facebook rules were not harsh enough. Now Facebook's want to go in and force the whole internet into harsher rules, where they're really a whistleblower or just a double agent. And then it goes, says they want to get rid of the ability to be anonymous on the internet via digital ID with vaccine passports, which in essence are a form of digital ID. So a lot of people on the internet are hip to what's going on, and this is a threat. So this is why there's a need for a crackdown on free speech and the ability to just have free access and free reign into the lives of millions of people that's able to plug in and get this real world information that contradicts their narrative that they want to push. So anyway, man, it's just very interesting stuff, but it's never ending. But anyway, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What topics you guys want to touch on? In my personal opinion, this is going to go on for quite some time now, and it's just more big government getting bigger, getting more invasive into our lives. Expected, but that's why there's so many other platforms such as Rumble, BitChute, Twitter for now, Telegram is okay. There's a plethora of platforms that can be used, and if you guys are aware of any, shout them out in the comment. And so people can realize that if you get disconnected from all these centrally controlled sources, you guys know where to connect that. So you'll always be able to stay plugged in and stay in tune, man. It's, of course, Discord, Telegram for RTD is a place you might want to check out as well. So, but anyway, let's talk. What else is going on? And another subject matter, here's something I came across that caught my attention. And so we're talking about the supply chain, but here's something that was posted today by Mike of Texas-Oklahoma. It says, this is how many oil tankers are backed up near the port of Thakerville, Oklahoma, via the Red River. It says a huge backlog. So this little video here shows a flyover of all the oil tankers just apparently sitting out at sea, waiting, I guess, to unload some of that oil into the country or whatever. But yet, look at these ships, man. This is ridiculous. This right here lets us all know that this is a deliberate attack in all facets of our lives, even to the point where they're wanting there to be a shortage of oil and all the things that come from oil, all the things that are related to food products and gasoline, you name it, creating a much tighter pinch. And that's sad, but that's where we're at, man. But yet, of course, they'll point the blame somewhere else. But anyway, more things worth talking on, but we can touch on that. So anyway, let's talk, man. Phone lines open up. Let's get these phone lines opened up real quick. But before I do that, let me go ahead and get my little announcement in. So bear with me 1 second. Try to make sure those that are plugged in know where to stay connected with us at. So give me 1 minute. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day. Your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%, followed up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store. All right, people, sweet and simple. Make sure I do my little promo there so everybody can stay plugged in, know where to connect with us at, as well as be able to support the channel if you feel so led. Anyway, let's talk. Phone lines are open. Let's find out what's going on, man. Lots of things happening today, and I'm curious. Interview I did earlier with Mr. Andy Hoffman. And so it's been about, I think, as he mentioned, 5 years since we connected. And initially, when I spoke with Andy last, it was during a live stream presentation. And that's when he was still working with Miles Franklin. So the conversation was heavy gold and silver. And so he was a metals fighter, man. Like he literally fought, with, as you mentioned, with GATA and all those other individuals to uncover and expose the criminality behind the metals. But then again, once the whole Bitcoin situation really began taking off, he decided to, basically jump ship. And as he mentioned, sold all his gold and silver and went full steam ahead into Bitcoin. And so if you look at it from the standpoint of him on, the last 4 or 5 years, selling his metals and getting into BTC, I guess the risk reward has paid off, very pleasantly for him, given the fact that the crypto space has done a bid since then. And of course, it will continue on until I think the greater agenda behind everything is exposed. And then at that point, we'll find out the true essence of this decentralized space, as it's called. But as of now, with him having got out of metals and into crypto, or BTC in particular, he's done extremely well. And that's why during our little conversation, it wasn't more so like an attack on him because, hey, he's done better monetarily speaking in dollar terms, having got into BTC, which if he had a change of heart all of a sudden and decided to go back into metals, he would definitely be able to 3 times, 4 times the amount of metals he had at that point. And so my point is that based upon where the orchestrator of this, want this to go, BTC, Ethereum, and all those other leading projects will definitely continue to go up. They're going to far surpass the metal price at this current moment because the metals are the actual backbone. They're the foundation of everything. And the goal is to make sure that those never really take off and they'll be happy with and excited about them, meaning the governments as well as financial institutions and the banks and all the big players that's really orchestrating this. They'll be happy with BTC and Ethereum and all those other projects taking off because that's something that's digital. It's in their sphere anyway. And more than likely, because of the idea that you can see everything, that plays right into their hands. Whereas with gold and silver, that's out of their hands, out of the system, and it's heading backwards towards a system that they don't want to go back down because they can't control it outright. They can't control it directly. They can control the spot price, but they can't control actually what you hold in your hand and what's outside the system. So anyway, it was good to talk to him. Looking forward to continue to stay in tune with him, stay plugged in. But anyway, let's talk. Phone lines are open. What do you guys want to touch on, man? Lots of things worth touching on. I got a couple more topics, but I'll hold off in the meantime. But as always, if you highlight at Rethinking a Dollar, I'll grab some questions or whatnot, and we can jump on it. And so let me see here. It says, the Piehead BTC says, that guy switching to BTC is very smart. Time will tell. That's the biggest thing. Time will tell. Thus far, in the last, 12 years or so of this whole digital revolution that's underway, he's done very well. But yet, let's see another 10. Let's see where we're at another 10 when all of this stuff is fully exposed for what it's meant to be. It says we don't know what he did if he's holding it. He's not rich. If he is holding it, he's not rich. Not rich. I would say just in a financial standpoint, that if he's traded over that weight and got into the digital stuff, even he mentioned he lost a lot in Mt. Gox. So that's also, a blow to his stash. But, say, for example, if he had 5 ounces of gold, just bare minimum 5 ounces of gold, and he got rid of those at the same time, BTC was around, say 2000, 1700 before the 2017 crash and bought 5 Bitcoin right now. Or if he bought 5 Bitcoin during that rally, during that time frame, then right now he's sitting on 250,000 Federal Reserve notes. If he decided to get out of those Federal Reserve notes and go back into gold, he could definitely do a lot of damage as far as being able to get physical. So I guess that was a trade-off I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. All right, let's talk. Let me get some people on the phone real quick. Let me see here. Okay, give me 1 second. I got the phone ringing at the same time playing a video. Give me 1 second here. I missed some calls. All right. Yeah. So feel free to chime in, share your thoughts. No right or wrong, just people's opinion. Just all opinion based. Let's talk. Hello, caller. What's name we calling from?
Mike, it's Barlight Broker from the internet.
Barlight Broker. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. Hey, I was thinking, basically at this point in time, after 9/11, we need to start a movement. We need to ban this jet fuel. We need to stop flying, shut down airports. I mean, it's to the point, I mean, if the jet fuel can literally turn 2 skyscrapers to dust and put them on the ground, I don't want it anywhere near me, yet alone in my town,
Yeah. Now, in reference to what you're talking about in 9/11, I remember watching a documentary where they had, explosives, and I mean, it was, I mean, the structure was, it was prepped for more than just jet fuel.
So, Mike, it was jet fuel that caused that. It caused the 2 biggest buildings in our country to just turn to dust and just fall over.
So you said jet fuel alone, or there are other things, explosives as well?
Yeah, jet fuel. Jet fuel's got a strange property. It attracts to steel as fast as it can, and then it melts it.
Okay.
I mean, it's just crazy. And I'm worried that will happen at the airport. And I mean,
yeah,
with something that dangerous, we just can't let it be out there. I can't believe nobody in government's thought of this yet.
Now, watch this.
I'm having a hard time.
So
I can't even sleep at night because of this, Mike.
Really? So you're like expecting or anticipating some type of event? You say airports, like, nationwide, or another false flag event type of event, or what? What are you talking about?
No. Jet fuel will never get anything like that before, but on that special day, with those little Iraqis with their box cutters, I mean, that just made it all the more dramatic. If you're on a plane and you jump up with a box cutter and try to hijack it, I'm going to probably stab you, I don't know, 60, 70 times in the neck with an ink pen.
Yeah.
But hey, what do I know? I'm just some crazy guy from the internet, right?
Right. But no, I appreciate you, man, because you definitely got me thinking, and I'm reading some of the comments at the same time. So, but hey,
Mike, do me a favor, just keep your family away from jet fuel, and if you see like a box cutter anywhere, you better be on guard.
Hey, I got you, man. I got you. Appreciate you, B.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so I'm wondering, like, where's this going? Is this guy saying what? So I see an alternative say he's just being ironic. So yeah, I get what he's saying. He's being sarcastic. Okay, so yeah, he had me going for a minute because I'm diving. I'm like, am I going too deep in this or what? But yeah, good stuff, man. Wait till he caught me off guard with that one. Hello, caller. Where you calling from? Uh-oh, you kind of choppy there. I heard you. It's like computerized type of. But go ahead and see if we can get you in.
Can you hear me?
Is it Steve?
Yeah.
I heard it's you, but then if you try to talk, it probably won't go through. But just try and we'll see what we can do with it.
Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, it was better. It's better.
Okay. Let's go with God's sense of humor first here, if we can.
Yeah.
I think you know this already because I know I sent it to you. If everyone would take after the show, if everyone just takes out a map of the entire world and lay the map out, and you can the people can verify this after the show. If you take a world map out and you look at written languages in all the world, if you look at Israel, all languages east of Israel, they write from right to left.
Okay.
All nations west of Israel write from left to right, which all of them basically point back to Israel. Just something for people to look up on their trivia thing there.
Okay.
But that being said, they can check that themselves.
Yeah.
But anyway, the main thing that I wanted to talk about was this is so spiritual now that I think people are forgetting
that thing, that entity, that thing is real, and it's out there. If people just go back and look at Genesis chapter 6 and review that and see what happened in that, fallen angels mated with human women. Steve's not making this up. People can just go look it up for themselves. Those things were around then, and they've been around since then, and they're around now. And I guess the main point that I want to make is, if you go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, Mike. If you can pull that up real quick.
All right, give me 1 second here. That was, you say, Daniel?
Daniel chapter 2.
Let me grab it 1 second. Let me type it in. Daniel. Okay.
Chapter 2, verse 43. So basically, that's the vision that Daniel had of the statue of the nations from when Daniel made the book until the last kingdom. But look at what's odd, what's funny there in verse 43.
All right,
go ahead and read it out so that people can hear it for
Give me
themselves.
1 second. I'll read the full chapter here. So Daniel 2:43. Let me scroll. Okay, we got 41. Says just as you. Okay, 42. 43. Okay.
It's a very odd verse, but you go ahead and read it so that people can hear what it says.
All right, so Daniel chapter 2, verse 43 says, and just as you saw the iron mixed with the baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united, and any more than iron mixes with clay.
Pull up the King James version of that.
All right, let me
pull up the King James version of that.
All right, give me 1 second. King James version. Where we at? Nope, too far. All right, give me 1 second. There we go. Bam. King James version. Bet. All right, 243. Let me find it one more time. All right, I don't mind going through some scripture. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And so I'm assuming that they shall mingle themselves with the Son of Men, is what you're referring to?
Yes. Now, who would that be to be able to do that? I'm just saying. What does it say? Like, just one more time. Just humor me. Go ahead and read that again for the people.
It says, they shall mingle. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
I think that's pretty clear. It has to be something other than human. Correct? These things are out there. They're walking around. They're doing whatever. People can believe what they want to believe, but at the end of the day, these things are real. They're out there. And before I get off, I'll go ahead and leave you with these. People can just pull these up. These 3 shows from the Hagman show. So we're talking about the glyph stuff now, Mike. Okay, if people go to the Hagman report, go to the HagmanReport.com. And pull up the show from September 9th, 2021. Pull up the show from 9/16, 2021. Pull up the show from 9/23, 21. And also pull up the show from band.video 9/11/21. And Steve Quayle is on all of those shows, and pay very close attention. I would encourage everybody to sit down with a notepad, because I missed it the first time I listened to the shows. I missed it. But the second time I went back and listened to it, I was going, what?
Hey, well, watch this. So I think you sent me 1 or 2 of those. I started, but yet it's because they're relatively lengthy. I try to skip to the main points you mentioned, just so I can stay up to date. So I try to share in the community. But let me get some more calls, man. But I appreciate you for calling and sharing this insight here, my friend, as always.
But people can check it out. And like I said, I didn't make Daniel chapter 2, verse 43. These things have been around, and the spiritual side is what needs to be
Yeah.
Anyway,
appreciate you, man.
I'll get off here.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right, let's get some more calls. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Anyway, appreciate you, man. I'll get off here.
Hello? Maybe not. All right. Yeah, give me a call. Let's talk. Lots of thoughts out there. And so what we have is as he was pointing out there, is the merger or the unification of the children of the enemy, fallen angels, mingling with the sons of man, creating these unique beings that I've seen, and I usually don't go down that rabbit hole because it's very deep and demonic in nature. But I've seen several videos because I don't mind, following up and reading up on a lot of stuff. But seeing videos of how like if you go, let me see, it was something about the Freemasons and like some of the top echelon of people, or some of the things they were doing, and like their eyes are black, and it's just stuff that's like, okay, that person doesn't look human outright. And so that type of stuff right there leads me to believe that those are the individuals mingled or interbred with humanity, creating these beings that's influencing a lot of the things we're experiencing from all these secret societies and things like that. So yeah, that stuff is a little spooky, man. But anyway, let's talk. Let me get somebody on here. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from? Hello? Maybe not. Let's try it again. All righty. Hello. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland. One more again.
TB, one more time. What's up, my friend?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, boss. What's new, man?
I caught Andy, man, and I was mad at Andy long time ago because Andy was one of those people that they was paying in order to promote BTC, and I ain't too sure he ain't still cooking the books with them.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that's how small the brain is. We let's go back to where Bitcoin came into existence. They was paying people in order to promote that thing.
I don't doubt it.
Why would you, if it was the next goal, why would you give it away?
Good point. And just the fact they had the person. I mean, because it had no use case, had no perceived value at that time, just because it was new. It was new, but yet it caught on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's all part of that back in 2001, you remember 2001, what happened? The economy crashed. 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And everything went to zero, including the dollar.
Yeah.
And they've been pumping this thing up for 20 years now. And then they decimated it, because if you look at it, that's the way they get money into the system once the deflation starts to happen.
Yeah.
And now we're to the where are we able to do that again? Because the next tranche of money that you're going to put in would be at least $5 trillion. What is that going to do to people's thinking and belief in the money system once they do that? And 2020, I think, was their last hurrah. But the Fed doesn't have any idea what the hell to do. Look at the ships out in LA. Yeah. I can solve that problem right quick. Get you some Marines, get you some reserve people, 24/7. Open that port up. Yeah. But you're not doing that. Biden isn't even talking about that.
Yeah, they're not even acknowledging its existence. They just say it's supply shock, but they're not pointing into exactly what that is and what that means, other than probably goods not being around. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's break it down. Let's break it, because it's more common. They really messed up when they shut down the economy. Yeah. Because what you do is you order something from China and they put it in a big old container with thousands of other people's things.
Right.
And ship off.
Yeah.
It's on this ship. Okay. Costco orders some stuff that's on a container on the ship. You shut down everything. Now I'm stuck with my shelves empty, wondering where the ship is. It's sitting out in the water. Give me another order of that and get it here ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't make it? Give me another order ASAP. Matter of fact, let me buy 3 ships. Put my stuff on those 3 ships, and we can't get you into the port.
Yeah.
So, it was a big fiasco, and we'll never be able to solve this. We will never be able to solve this because they don't know what's on those ships. All they know is the container number and the ship number. They don't know who's what inside of it.
Yeah.
And they can't put you up front because you're Costco. They can't put you up front because you're Walmart. They can't put you up front because you're anybody, because they don't know.
Yeah.
And they messed up. And we need to realize that, because the only way to get this thing figured out is to shut it down one more time.
Shut it down one more time. And that will be that'll be the final. Hell, the economy will literally flatline, and you won't be able to resuscitate it at all.
No, you cannot get back from it. You cannot get back from what they did. They killed the economy.
Yeah.
They killed off the goose in 2001, but they killed off us in 2020. And now they're trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, this, that, and the other with the JAB.
Yeah.
And trying to keep your mind off of them, what they messed up on.
Right.
I got a good one for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happened 2021 years ago that we had to reset everything? We had to reset a calendar. What happened back then? I don't know the answer to that. I'm still looking.
Reset the
2021 years ago, something happened, because we got a calendar reset.
I
don't know what that is.
So I'm not. So first thing come up. I mean, 2,000 years ago, I'm thinking about the birth of Christ is the only thing that I am aware of that established the time frame that we now use, whether it be AD, BCE. So that's. I mean, you talking about that, or what you talking about? No,
I'm talking about we don't know. Even at that, Jesus has been dead 2,000 years for 8,000 years ago. Jesus was dead 2,000 years ago when I was coming up. Every year he's dead 2,000 years. My mama told me that he was dead 2,000 years ago. So what happened in 2021 years ago that we still think that Jesus is still you go to any library, any bookstore, without the religious bookstore. Where are you going to find the Bible?
In history.
No, it's going to be in the fiction section.
Well, I've never went looking, so I don't know. I was assuming to be in the history section, but I could be wrong. So, in the fiction section, okay.
It's going to be in the fiction.
Okay. See, I ain't
never go to a Christian library, to be in the nonfiction section.
Interesting. So for the people out there listening, if you have an answer to this question, throw it in the chat. I'm curious, because that got me wondering as well. So ultimately,
something happened 2,000 years ago, 2021 years ago, that they are not telling us that we need to. I mean, I think that's where the essence of this thing is coming from. Now let's do it. Let me put on my tinfoil hat.
Okay, go ahead.
They write stories about us and give us what they call his story.
Yeah.
And it is his story.
Whose story is it?
It's not our story.
Yeah.
Because our story is, I believe, is when Moses was put on that ship.
Moses.
The world. You there?
Yeah. What ship?
It is my belief that the world had flipped over and water had overcome into all the bowels of the earth. And then when it flipped back, he was the only one standing.
So we talk about Noah, right?
Noah. Sorry, okay. I said something. I said something.
Yeah, Moses. I'm like, Moses wasn't on no shit. Okay, yeah.
He was the only one standing. And then the water receded, right?
Yeah.
And then he went on to produce.
Yeah. So once again,
we have to look at the story from our perspective, not from their perspective, because what they did is they took our history, stole it from us, rewrote it, and gave it back to us, and let us regurgitate it as his story.
Right.
That's not his story.
Right.
That's their story that they want us to believe in, and we believe in that. That's like the shot.
Yeah.
How many of us took the shot? No, we've seen this before. Our inner God has told us not to do this for some odd reason. I mean, there's people that need it for financial reasons. I understand that. But the ones that standing on righteousness is saying no to this.
Pastor TB tonight.
Man, I'll let you go get
I appreciate you, man. Good stuff, man.
Looking at you, man.
Yep. I will. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. So TB going deep, man. You know, he's going back towards a time frame that, as of right now, and I do believe history is a complete joke. It's a lie, because as you mentioned, history. Whose history is it? Everything has been whitewashed, and especially in this country that we're in now, we're being told that all types of stuff that I don't believe anymore whatsoever. And this is something we're talking about on the Hangout, off-air Hangouts a while back, talking about the only place that there may be evidence of what really took place in the history books before they were rewritten by these scholars just paid for by academia and governments to give us this false crap about as to our nation's history, is probably in the basement of the Vatican. And so the Vatican might be the last place amongst, maybe one or two other places we don't know about. But our first thought, I believe, and this is from watching the what's those movies called, the with Tom Hanks and whatever it's called, where I forgot whatever it's called. But anyway, so it's my guess and opinion that all the truth we would need as far as stuff that's been hidden from us lies in the vaults at the bottom of the Vatican historical complex. So deep underneath ground, in that little small region called the Vatican, is the truth. And so until we get down there, until that stuff comes out, which, you get some people, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Cliff High or some other people mentioned that, as the truth comes out, like this time frame moving forward, we're going to find out more information that will really rattle our foundations. It's going to really shatter a lot of the alleged truth that we've been fed, because people are going to find out it's a lie. And I wouldn't be surprised that as a part of this deception, because a lot of this is the enemy's game plan to cause people to fall from the faith, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some documentation, some ancient books saying that this, saying that, whatever. I don't doubt it, because in this time frame here, the goal is to create as much fear and much doubt as possible. And I've just been looking at that lately as to how all the things the government does as a part of this problem reaction solution, in the dab smack middle of that, is to create fear. Whatever it is has to be fear-based. And then, of course, they come in with the answers, supposedly. And so that right there is what we're up against. So whatever will come out in the days ahead, if it does, is definitely going to shatter you. And that's why I believe it's more important than ever right now to really be grounded and rooted in your faith and be willing to ride with it and definitely go down with it if it comes to that, and not, be tossed to and fro because of the deceits that's coming our way. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's talk. Let me get this caller here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Hey, maybe not. Give me 1 second here. Stuff popping up and it's disappearing. I apologize for that. Give me 1 second. Hello? Maybe not. Anyway, give me a call. Too many calls at once. Shoot. Answer. Okay. Here we go. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Yes, sir. Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who am I speaking with?
All right, good stuff. That was actually pretty interesting with the Vatican basement library, and good point that faith can be a great unifier and great principle that people adhere to and will really go against opposition towards. And yes, sir, they definitely have been attacking the faith for a good long time. Time. Just something I wanted to note as well, not what I initially called for, was with the flood, you can see with the tops of the mountains in Utah and see the water receding, and you can see that at a lower level. But I mean, on the tops of those mountains, there's the same water recession. So very much with your own eyes, you can see evidence of a Noachian flood. But that's not what I called about. But you made a great point, and like what you were saying before. Yeah,
but I appreciate you for sharing that, because I'm not familiar with Utah like that. I've been there once, but I'm not familiar with the lay of the land. So I appreciate you for giving us that little nugget there. But anyway, go ahead, my friend.
You can check it out with the water receding from the weather manipulation. But anyhow, this is Mike in Philadelphia, and just wanted to note about the $600 auditing base, which is very low. It's unusually low. Would require a lot more employees at the IRS, which is not so much a federal service. But anyhow, it just it seems like it would really create an additional wealth gap in purchasing, kind of cutting out the lower grade purchases, and maybe some of the quality of product production, really setting a lifestyle, cultural, sort of psychological disparity between lower social status and higher social status. So really something to develop in the culture. And it seems very disparaging to have to worry about additional taxes and auditing at such a low level. And it really just seems to be demoralizing the American populace. And it makes me wonder why the United States military would let its populace be so demoralized when you really need some strong soldiers and people defending this unique and great nation that is based upon the principles that God lets us be excellent and born with unalienable rights permitted by us from God, our creator, which is quite awesome. So it really restricts human excellence and dignity, and it's disheartening.
Right. Very true, my friend. Thank you for sharing that. And while you were speaking, I actually put up 2 articles, one dealing with the Yellen situation we're going to touch on, and then one also just announcement today about the Army sets June 2022 deadline for troops to participate. So I'm going to touch on that as well. But thanks for bringing that to my attention, because I forgot about those articles. So thanks for sharing your thoughts, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yeah, those repeating digits are concerning, the 22s, but that's you already went into the Vatican basement, so we'll leave it there.
Hey, man. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for calling in. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Mike? It's Steve from Jersey.
Steve from Jersey. What's going on, my friend? Give me some good news.
Good. I just want to. I seen the video you had today with the guy. With the BTC interview. So I appreciate you putting on something like that and starting to have an open mind about like alternative ideas. Right. So and the gentleman TB, I don't know the guy personally, but one thing that I've learned on walking on this planet is that if you're not willing to open up your mind and see things differently, what happens is you have a closed mind, and closed minds don't survive. They become old minds. Right? So the first thing is I would suggest to him is to actually start to do some research about this item. Because maybe he finds out that his answer is still what it is presently. But if you're not willing to look at different scenarios, then you're basically closed-minded, and that's really not a good thing personally. And I've learned that over time, even in religion. I've looked at many different religions, and I've come to realize you're not going to learn from other aspects if you're not willing to. And you're right, maybe you're right, but that doesn't mean that there's not another right. Right?
Okay.
So there's many different rivers, but they all go into one place, and that's the ocean. So everybody's got a different aspect of it. But I appreciate you starting to get more open on crypto, because ultimately, crypto, Bitcoin, and gold, we are not enemies. We have the same mindset that we're being manipulated and we're trying to stop it. So rather than saying one is better than the other, we need to start focusing on how to look at each other's situation and work together, rather than making ourselves the enemy, and then we're looking at the enemy, and now it's 3 enemies. We have one enemy, and we need to be on the same side of the coin. Right? So that's basically it. I appreciate the phone call, Mike.
No problem. Thanks for your feedback, my friend. Also, as you was talking, I saw Tony mention in the chat. He says, I have an open mind. So
and real quick, Mike. talking about religion and things being hidden and those things, can you put in Jesus Christ on the computer?
Jesus Christ, like in the search tab?
Yep, Jesus Christ.
All right. I'll put it in my URL box and see.
All right, and then just hit images.
Images. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me see here.
What comes up, Mike?
A lot of different faces, and but a gentleman with long hair, a Caucasian male with long hair, and then I see one dark guy with the gray hair, or one melanated guy with dark hair.
Right. So if we're talking, let's really talk, because if we're trying to be so manipulated and hiding things, clear as day, you put it on the internet and you're seeing a white man.
Yeah.
And not personal, but the Bible said that it was burnt brass. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't even have a slight tan.
Yeah.
And there's no woolly hair there. He doesn't even have a perm.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just confused about, like, when people talk, it's like, look what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And one last thing, Mike. I've read many things and different religions, and this guy, he's probably not alive before. Not alive anymore. He was a retired engineer. Guy said to me, Steve, you know what? I read many books, stuff like even in the Bible. We're talking about the Bible, and we need to talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Sumerian text, where a lot of this religion on this quote Bible is coming from, which we don't talk about. And Noah, that's not his name. His name is not Noah. There's a Noah in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Do you know that, Mike?
I do not know that. No.
Right. If you look up the Epic of Gilgamesh, it's the tablets from the Sumerians, and that is the original Noah. And I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, but I think it's called Una Feast. It's the Noah from the Bible, but it's in the Epic of Gilgamesh, right?
Yeah.
So all of this information and this quoting the Bible, we're confused because we're talking about misinformation. Well, let's start with going back even further than this American or King James version, whichever version you want to choose. I don't know how many different Bibles there are.
Yeah.
So the stuff is right in front of you, and the guy, he said basically he stopped reading books because at the end of the day he felt like he was a dog chasing his tail. And at the end of the day, I've come to realize that, and I stopped searching these books. Yeah. Because no matter what, Mike, you're going to leave this planet. It's going to be the same thing. Another 1,000 years from now, people are going to still be talking about the same thing, and nobody's come to a conclusion. And the reality is, you spend your time wasting your time rather than being in the moment and living your life at this point, because you only have one time. Yeah. And beyond that, I don't know what's going to be if this is one time, but you spend a lot of time searching for a lot of stuff, and you realize you're wasting your time because your kids grow up and you grow old and you miss your moment. Yeah. Hey, good stuff, man. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and viewpoints on the Bible and things of that nature. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. You're welcome, sir. Enjoy your night. I will do. Yeah, man, that was loaded right there, man. That was loaded. And that's where, and that's the beauty of having a platform where people get to share their thoughts and viewpoints based upon all the data that they've gathered and processed and determine what's best for them and what works and what doesn't work. So, hey, man, and that's the part of being open-minded. I appreciate hearing all this stuff, because a lot of the things he's talking about, with Gilgamesh and stuff like that, I just haven't gone down those holes yet, but there's definitely information there that can be used to further add to the data to use the process. But I keep it simple and sweet on my end, man. Like, I don't try to complicate things. I think, faith
itself, I feel comfortable and confident with just having faith in a single source. I don't try to blend things, mesh things together, go look for stuff that I don't feel led to go pursue. So it's just, it makes it a lot easier for me to where I don't have that sense of worry or doubt, or if that's whatever it's called. Anyway, let's talk a couple more calls and we get ready to dial back. Let me get somebody on here. Let me see who we got. All right. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. How's it going?
LBP, doing good, man. What's up with you?
I don't know, man. I'm not open to crypto, man. I'm not. It's a scam, Mike.
Hey, watch this.
That's why I opened up to it and I found out it was a scam.
So the question is, how did you open up to it? What did you open up to?
I opened the book. It said a big scam, and I read about it. And it's a nothing, Mike. It's a nothing. It's another fiat. You know?
Yeah. Hey, I can understand your viewpoint, man. That's why it's not even nothing worth arguing, man. I see where you stand. and I think in time we're all gonna find out. What's up?
It's like an NFT. It's like a fingerprint. It's a unique nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe these people worshiping that crap, Mike.
I think a lot of people are excited because it's new and it's still early, and it offers what they perceive as a lot of reward, of course, in dollar terms for now. But thus far, for example, Andy, as he mentioned, got rid of all his gold and silver. And if he did that, then based upon if he's still able to hold on to any of that, then I'm assuming he's done okay in dollar terms, to where if he ever changed his mind, he wanted to go back to metals, he can definitely get a lot more if he wanted to, of course, after taxes, all that stuff like that. But it's just different ways people play the game, man, I guess.
Yeah, if you do it, it's cool. I don't care, it's not for me though. I think it's a scam.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to that other caller you were talking about, Gilgamesh.
Mm-hmm.
In that story, Mike, it's like a Greek myth from a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they don't reference Noah exactly the same way. It's like one of the characters in that story, he just mentions of a flood.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't even say directly like the whole Noah. It's not the same details.
Yeah.
He just happens to mention it as like two people are talking, and he just mentions like a reference to something like that.
Okay, so
but you should check it out. It's not. He doesn't talk about Noah and the flood.
Yeah.
He says something about a flood that happened a long time ago. It's like if me and you are talking, and I'm telling you, like, it's not even part of the main story. It's just
comes
something
up
in passing that is said.
Yeah, it comes up in conversation. Remember that water flood?
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to say I would dive down that hole, but just between all the stuff in front of me and trying to stay plugged in and tuned in, and I run into overload, man. I know my limits. And so I try to stay my attention span when it comes towards of consuming all types of different types of content is minimal, just because I can't do it all, man. I try, but I can't. So that's why I rely upon people to educate me. So if you call in and you give me the whole rundown, you give me the Cliff Notes for dummies, I take that version. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you gotta do in life. That's like you said. He's right about it, man. You spend your whole life looking for something, you never find it.
Exactly. I don't want to spend my time doing that. I went to my son's football game earlier, and I'd rather spend time with the kids, man. But anyway, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Good hearing your voice, Ball. I heard baby blood pressure. Was that baby blood pressure in the background?
Yeah, he's over here taking his diaper off, man. He's bad.
Go ahead, take care of him, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Be good. Baby blood pressure. Baby low blood pressure has 6 blessings from the Lord up above. He's always going to be busy. LBP. Anyway, people. Man, yeah, I appreciate that love offering. That last one, I saw that definitely with some good words of wisdom right there. It says the Holy Bible is the truth. Man is a sinner, and sin is the biggest virus on earth. We need to turn from sin and receive Jesus as our Lord and Savior. I can ride with that. Jesus saves sinners, no doubt. Appreciate you being a blessing, as well as using your voice in the form of sharing the good news, man. All right, people, let's get ready to dial back as always. We've got a couple calls out, but yeah, we'll pick up tomorrow, same time, same place, Lord willing, and go from there. But anyway, as always, people, I want to make sure you guys, still have an opportunity to share what's in your mind. And throughout the chat, I get a chance to read the comments. And of course, we all don't see the same way. But the goal of all of this is to be able to share viewpoints without any criticism or any negativity towards one another, because one of the founding principles under the new covenant is to walk in love. And that's one thing that's not talked about at all, because the system is designed to divide, whereas in love unites, because love allows you to put others ahead of yourself in your own interests, which in this current age, that's a no-no. But the whole goal is to try to spread love, man. Be of encouragement to one another and to give people a chance to let their voice be heard. That's what it's all about, man. And of course, at the foundation of all this is the concept of faith. And right now we're in a spiritual warfare. We realize what the enemy's up to, but yet the word says, be of good cheer because I've overcome. You know what I'm saying? So that's some good news right there from the good book itself. And, me personally, referring to the caller earlier who talked about the different versions of Bibles out there, there's probably as many Bibles as there is cryptocurrency project. It could be hundreds of thousands. I don't know. But the parts of the Bible, my favorite parts per se, happens to be in the New Testament, referring to the new covenant through the bloodshed of the Savior of humanity. And I'm really drawn to those words that are written or highlighted rather in red. I think those words right there themselves, if you can, regardless of whatever it's NIV, King James, New King James, whatever, those words written in red are given to us as if the Father himself was speaking directly through him to us. And so to me, those words there carry the most weight, which I try to pay more attention to, because those words are spirit and they're life in accordance to what the Bible says itself. And so they transcend anything in our whole old natural mind. That's why those words that are in red, in my opinion, you can never fully understand them. They always keep giving. They always keep giving fresh revelation. And so I don't think no Bible scholar could say that they truly understand everything to a T, because God is capable of revealing himself in new ways every single day. And that's why that book, that's what's so unique about the book that we call the Bible, is that it's been around forever. Many scholars have tried to debunk the stories and prove it to be a fallacy and fiction, whatever. It's still holding its ground. And the whole point in faith is to be able to take those words, make them your own, live out in real life. And then based upon that, you're given some very, very generous promises in this life and in the one to come. And so to me, that's good enough. I don't need more than that. But anyway, let's dial back, man. So as always, like to end this show with just lifting up, praise that's due to the man himself, the King of Glory, and just acknowledge him for another chance for us to connect, man. So if we have any believers out there, feel free to join in and on this prayer. And of course, the goal is to make sure that we all are handling our business. We all have an assignment. And of course, that assignment is to win souls for the kingdom. And so we're not here just for fun and giggles. We have an assignment to do. We've all been called, ordained, and sent to preach, as it says, the good news, which is to repent, for the kingdom of hand is it here. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Anyway, Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity, Lord, to just gather this evening. We pray that you continue to do great things through your church this day. We pray that you continue to do just an awesome work, Father. Allow those that draw upon you, Father, to be encouraged in their spirit. Allow them to draw near to you in times of need, Father, for comfort, and as well as just to continue to receive fresh revelation for their circumstances, as well as what their assignments are in this life. Lord, we ask you continue to be with those in positions of power over your children. Lord, we ask you give them insight into the desire to operate in righteousness, Father, and to just lead and govern in accordance to your will, Father. We just thank you for your power that's at work in each and every one of us. And we just ask that you allow us to rest our head on our pillows at night in peace and wake up in the morning with excitement in our hearts to go out and to win souls for you, Father. Any way that you lead us to, allow us to be obedient. Lord, we ask for just to continue love to be just poured on us from the good word itself, as well as your spirit that's at work in us. And we'd ask all in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, people. That's all she wrote. Back at it again tomorrow. Same time, same place, Lord willing. And other than that, be blessed. And I will see you later. Peace. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day. Your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%. Follow up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, Audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store.